and that was the thing that I really loved about teaching English was I felt like it made much more of a difference on a worldwide scale, like for fostering peace. I mean, I really did feel that way because if I could, I knew that however I treated somebody was going to stay with them longer than what I taught them. And so if I treated them with respect and compassion, then now they have a, that American in their head, like that American was compassionate and respectful of me. I felt like that was so powerful. And I am thoroughly grateful for being able to do that because it's so hard when you have different sources of media representing people from different nations in different ways, because you never really know.
Yes.
But when you meet someone one-on-one, you're like, oh, well, wow.
It's
than I thought they were going to be, and
I know it's really interesting that you pointed that thing out here because I have met a lot of people even in 21st century. If I tell a person, anyone, and I've met a lot of people in America, and I'm not trying to disrespect here anyone, but I'm just saying that if I introduce somebody that hi, my name is Saurab and I'm from India, and they said, oh, India, do you speak Indian? And I tell them, oh my gosh, there's nothing called Indian.
No, there isn't. But they don't know.
Yes, and then yes, and again, then I tell them that first of all, there's nothing called Indian, and then we speak English like people speak in Nigeria or in Uganda or in Canada. We grew up with English because we are Anglophone colony or countries. We have been the former colonies of Britishers, and when they came here, they brought their language here, and it just they went back, but they could not take their language back because it is not something tangible, right? So I think we I don't know whether it happened for good or bad, but I think but on personal level, I think the more languages do you speak, I think it makes you much more capable of understanding the problem and coming up with the solution as well. That makes you a very sorted person, I would say, and you can reach out and access more audience. You can welcome a lot more perspectives, and that would enable you to see the world from different lenses, I would say. Yeah.
And I feel like, when you're talking about all these different subsets of culture within India, I think that we don't do such a great job in the United States in making sure that our students understand world history. I mean, maybe like Western civilization, right? But like all that other stuff, it's so they don't understand when they go into college and people are talking about colonial and post-colonial literature. They're like, what are these words? They don't understand because they've spent most of their time basically learning American history and a certain lens of American history at that. So when we educate teachers now, we almost have to, before we even talk about intercultural competence, sometimes the very first step is helping them understand that there's different cultures inside the United States, and like, hey, like the South is different, right? Like what makes it different? And starting the conversations that way. And I've heard from other teachers that in EFL context, that's sometimes the way that they start talking about intercultural competence is, hey, people in North Vietnam are a little bit different than people in South Vietnam or in rural Vietnam versus urban. And why do you think that is? And it's those beginning conversations that I think even for teachers who don't feel that they have opportunity to teach intercultural competence, you can, because you can have your students raise their awareness of what their culture is and what other cultures are inside the borders of whatever country they're living inside.
I would say there should be a fine line. I mean, I'm not saying that there shouldn't be any emphasis on American history.
Yeah, definitely not.
Right? Yes, indigenous values are really, really important to know, but they are not the only thing which should be taught. You should also get outside the cocoon and see what other things world has to offer you.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So, and that's how something being different, and it might be my repeated phrase, does not necessarily mean that it's wrong, right? But it gives you perspective. You can connect so many things with it.